Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're back out the range with M855A1 and M855 to address some of the concerns from our original video. Yes, we do read the comments. So some of the concerns were around the velocity, and the M855A1 wasn't giving us the numbers that had been previously advertised in terms of what it was capable of. And people made the comment that, well, I was using an 18-inch barreled rifle, not a 14.5-inch barrel, and that was messing with the velocities. Presumably, their argument being it was slowing, the longer barrel was slowing the bullet down because it was optimized for a shorter barrel. Therefore, the gunpowder was fizzling out before it reached the end of the barrel of the 18-inch barrel rifle, and the bullet was dragging on the rifling and slowing down. It would have presumably been higher, I guess, out of the 14.5-inch barreled rifle. We're going to address that in today's video. So we brought out a 14.5-inch rifle. This is a Colt, has a pinned and welded muzzle device on here. This is a military grade 14.5-inch barrel on the semi-automatic rifle. I have the original Daniel Defense Mark 12 with the 18-inch barrel. We're not really going to shoot it though. I'll just give you the velocity data one more time. I have it on my phone. And then we have a 20-inch barreled A2 here to compare the 14.5 against the 20 and see if we pick up velocity or if we lose velocity from the longer barrel. Now, there were some other things I brought up in the video that was citing a source, Small Arms Solutions, from several years ago about the cartridge, the M855A1, and I don't really want to address those issues. Some of those issues have been resolved, issues with magazines and feeding and things like that. And apparently the velocities have been reduced in terms of the pressures of the cartridge, and that created concerns of premature wear on the rifles, and especially rifles like the M27 that the Marine Corps is using. The direct gas and the short stroke gas piston rifles of the M27 aren't really well suited to the higher pressure. So you run an M855A1 that's running, say, 10% more pressure and a suppressor, you're probably going to beat up that gas system pretty badly. And that was some of the concerns with the original cartridge. We're not going to address any of those because presumably some of that recipe has changed. All I want to address in this video is the velocity concerns that people had. Now, people also brought up the concern that perhaps this was fake M855A1. Here's one of the cartridges. That's an actual M855A1 bullet, kind of hard to fake. This is actual Lake City brass, and I'll show you a close-up photo. It has a 4-point crimp on it, not a commercial crimp that we've done by a commercial loading press. This was done at the factory. You can see that the crimp has not been damaged by a spent primer being pushed out and a fresh one being pushed in. You have to swage that pocket to get it to work, and clearly that's not been done. These are not reloads. And I confirmed with the source that I got them from that these are in fact military surplus. So with all that being said, let's get started with today's video and see what type of velocities we're going to get out of the 14.5 versus the 20-inch barrel. Are we going to see a difference in velocity? And if we do, is it going to be faster out of the 20-inch barrel or slower? Comment down below. I'm curious what you think. Of course, before you watch the rest of the video, let's get started. American Hartford Gold is dedicated to helping individuals and families invest in precious metals. This includes gold, silver, platinum, in both bars and coins. They provide both physical delivery to one's doorstep or inside of a retirement account like an IRA, 401k, or TSP. American Hartford Gold helps clients achieve greater security for their future by adding a safe haven asset to their portfolio. Investors receive only the highest quality gold and silver coins offered at competitive prices with 100% customer satisfaction guaranteed. American Hartford Gold has an excellent Trustpilot rating from over 1,000 customers. They're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They have a price match guarantee, a buyback commitment, and free maintenance and storage for up to 3 years. American Hartford Gold has a special offer for Military Arms Channel viewers of up to $5,000 in free silver on qualified orders. So please call 866-406-1988 today or text military to 65532. Again, that is 866-406-1988 or text military to 65532. So please swing by and check out American Hartford Gold. I will put a link in the video description below. So first up, we have some M855 green tip. This is the old school stuff, and we're going to fire 2 rounds of it through the 14.5-inch barrel Colt here to get a baseline. So this is what the original M855 did, and then we'll see how well the M855A1 does. Got our Garmin Zero chronograph here. Uses Doppler radar, very small, very cool, and very accurate in our testing. All right, 2 rounds. First round is 2880.4. Second round is 2907.2. All right. Now we will grab 2 rounds of our M855A1. Load those into the magazine. I'm going to go ahead and stop this and save it. And let's see. All right, that should send it to my phone. All right, yep, so we have our data here from today on the phone. All right, and we'll start a new session. And this is with the M855A1. 2 rounds. $29.04. $29.12. So in terms of velocity, it would seem that these are from today. So here's the M855A1, the average feet per second, 2893, and then the average feet per second up here, 2908. So within the standard deviation for the most part, you have a standard deviation between these two of 4.1 feet per second, down here 13.4 feet per second, but generally speaking, you know, no cartridges, identical velocity every single time, every shot taken. So really not much of a velocity increase from the M855 to M855A1 out of a 14.5 inch barrel. All right, so that kind of confirms what we found in the first video. Now we'll grab the 20-inch barrel, forego the 18. We already have the velocities on that from our original video. First, we will load 2 rounds of M855A1. This is ammo generally, I'm sorry, M855, not A1. Ammo generally reserved for my M249S saw. All right, that's why it's on links. 2 rounds, a green tip, 20-inch barrel. Start a new session here. All right, and here we go. $31.07 first shot, green tip, second shot. All right, $31.02. Let's go ahead and send that to the phone. And let's start a new session. Now we want to use 2 rounds of the M855A1 from the same lot of ammunition. All right, 2 rounds loaded. And let's see what we get for velocity. First shot. 3089. 3105. All right, so we see that spread, right, of velocity. Perfectly normal to have spreads like that. But let's go ahead and send this one to the phone. Survey says. All right, so here we go, all from today. M855A1 right here, out of the 14.5, 29.8. M855, 28.93. And then out of the 20-inch barrel, this is the M855, green tip, 31.04, average velocity, M855A1, 30.97.4. Again, the differences between the two are within that normal standard deviation of velocity. Both of these cartridges use a 62 grain bullet. The M855 is a lead core, copper jacket, and steel penetrator. So you have 3 different materials in the construction of that bullet. M855A1, a green bullet, has copper and steel. So you have the penetrator and a copper bullet. Again, both are 62 grains. Now we did do testing in ballistics gel of the M855A1 and the M855. And the M855A1 definitely gives a better performance out of silicon-based ballistics gel. So lethality has definitely been increased, I would say, with the M855A1, but the current generation stuff, this has been manufactured in the last year or two, is not really giving us much in the difference in terms of velocity. It's identical pretty much as to the original M855. So that increased pressure, presumably to get a 14.5-inch barreled M4 to perform similarly to a 20-inch barreled rifle in terms of bullet velocity doesn't really seem to be the case with current generation M855A1. So the real only benefit to it is the fact that it does perform better in soft tissue. At least it seems to. So does that warrant the cost? Well, it's really, really expensive and really, really hard to find. It's not commercially available. You have to pick up surplus ammunition where you can find it. So really, it doesn't make much sense to a person looking for ammunition for, their own self-defense or stockpiling it in case they're, worried about end of times type scenario. You're probably better off with just M193 or M855. All that ammunition is readily available all over the place out there, and it's going to perform just fine in terms of giving you performance enough to be effective with your rifle in defensive type scenarios. So anyway, I wanted to make the video simply because I wanted to address those concerns because, again, we do read the comments you guys post. And if there's any ambiguity in what we've done in our testing, we try to address that ambiguity. And that's what today's video is all about. So if you have any additional questions or concerns, go ahead and feel free to comment down below. Unless you come up with something that's just ground shaking in terms of something perhaps we overlooked in this video, chances are we're done comparing M855 to M855A1 here on the Military Arms channel. But I'll leave it up to you because I look forward to reading those comments. Guys, if you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel so we can continue to bring you content like this, please consider becoming part of our Patreon family. There is a link in the video description below. Right here on YouTube, you got the thanks and support button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Mash either one of those buttons. You can help support us right here on YouTube in the age of demonetization. Last but not least, swing by, check out Copper Custom. Thank you for 16 years of support. We'll talk to you guys soon.